Who feels good about access? All right, I like that. Because, you know, as we're talking about access, of course we're talking about access to services and people in need of real help, looking for neighbors to extend a hand. And you can possibly imagine being brand new in a strange country, having a very weak grip even on the language, away from everything you know. Imagine how afraid you might be and how nervous you might be and how happy you might be to find that someone is there to help you. The stories that Nala shared with us, I felt were absolutely gripping because I could really feel how that gentleman must have felt when he knew that he had a job that could bring not only himself some dignity, but bring some food to his family. And of course, you might imagine a woman who might have been facing abuse, needing access, and having nowhere to turn, but having access to come to and say, look, I'm in a bad situation and I really need some help, and having a warm, friendly place to say, we're there for you. You can imagine how important access is in the lives of the people who they serve. But you know, access also gives us access. Because we, through the act of giving, through the act of generosity, by supporting this wonderful organization, can have access to our own human heart. You can have access to your generosity that is embedded within you. You can have access to the chance to please your Maker. And so, yes, it's true that part of what we receive is access, that people get in services, but everybody in this room who's in a position to share what God has blessed them to have is in a position to have access to. And I hope that you will take an opportunity to access your chance to do good. Because this is a rare opportunity, and if you've ever been in a position where you needed a little hand, you know that anyone and everyone needs a hand sometime. And thank God there is access to give the help they need. What I really hope that we emphasize is that we also need access, and the people who come to access also need access to the ballot box, the access to democracy, the access to arrange the political environment in a way so that not so many people need to turn to services. We need to have access to political empowerment, access to jobs, and we need to take the people who come and receive services and access and turn them access voters who can vote for policies that will help alleviate the pain that people are going through. Well, I'm telling you, folks, we are in a time in our country where we have record unemployment, record foreclosure, and yet it's because of a set of policies that people have pursued that has brought us there. And you know what? If we get greater engagement of people of all shapes and sizes, we can change this thing around. So access to the ballot, access to democracy is what we really need. Access to a chance for people to be turned on to their political power as a citizen and as a voter. Because you know what? You may feel like you're a bad luck accident just because you found yourself in tough times, but the truth is, decision makers setting up decisions that brought you to a tough place is what made you be in a situation where you need to turn to a group like Access, and thank God that they're here. Access to the ballot box. Access to the ballot box. I tell you, you know, Access as an organization is a very, very important organization, particularly to the Muslim community, Middle Eastern community. And I know not everybody here tonight is in that description. Some folks, I want to welcome you to be here with Access. If you're not from the Muslim community or not from a Middle Eastern background, we want you to know that this is a very welcoming and opening environment. Access opens the door to everyone, and Access has people who care about offering the services from all backgrounds as well. And this is a great benefit. But it is a fact that Access services do have a special cultural competence for Muslim community and people from a Middle Eastern background. And so I think it is important to just spend a moment to think about the role Access should play in our hearts and minds. Let me tell you a story, or let me remind you of a story. About 1,400 years ago in the Arabian Peninsula, there was a man who had lost his parents and who was an orphan. And he received a message of revelation when he was an adult. That message of revelation that he received, he shared with people around him, but the constituted order of the day didn't appreciate it. Because that man was saying, you know what? People shouldn't be in poverty this way. Slaves shouldn't get abused this way. Infant children who are female should not